The town of Riverbend became quiet again. But it was not the same. People had seen too much, things they could never forget. Still, there was a new peace. A soft silence in the air, as if the wind itself was grateful. Those who had been trapped between life and death were finally gone, buried with honor. Mr. Henry was laid to rest with his favorite music playing. The boy hit by the truck was gently taken from the hospital, his parents holding each other and crying, not just from grief, but from release. Dr. Lewis returned to her work, but something inside her had changed. She no longer looked at patients the same way. Every heartbeat, every breath seemed like a gift. She started speaking softly to her patients, even the ones asleep. She reminded them that they were still here, still alive, and still free to move forward. Father Thomas preached a different kind of sermon now. He talked not only about heaven or faith, but about respect for balance. We are not meant to live forever, he said, but we are meant to live fully. While we are here, death is not the enemy, it is a door, and doors are made to be passed through. As for Dr. Raj Patel, he stayed in Riverbend longer than expected. He collected his data and wrote a paper that no science journal would ever print. They won't believe it, he told Dr. Lewis. They'll say it's fiction, superstition, a story, but I know the truth, and so do you. She nodded. Some truths don't fit into books. The old woman who guided them to the stone disappeared after Elijah's sacrifice. No one saw her again. Her house stood empty. The windows shut, the lights forever off. Some say she was never really human. Others believed she was a guardian of the veil, only appearing when the balance was broken. The nightmares stopped. The strange whispers in hospital rooms were gone. The air in Riverbend felt lighter, and the river sparkled again under the sun. But not everything was simple. Emily, the little girl who had seen the broken place, began to draw again. This time, her pictures were brighter. Fields, birds, smiling faces. Yet one thing never changed. In every picture, somewhere in the background, there was always a door. Sometimes it was small, hidden among trees. Sometimes it was big, and standing alone in a field, and always it was shut. When asked about it, Emily would smile and say, "The door is fixed now, but we mustn't touch it again." People lived more carefully now. They hugged their families more. They said, "I love you," without waiting. They took walks, watched the stars, and sat by the river just to listen. Because now they knew that death was real again, and that made life more precious. Years passed. Elijah's grave became a place of flowers. People came quietly, laid small tokens, and whispered thanks. Children were told the story, not all the dark parts, but enough to understand that a man gave everything so others could have peace. And yet the story did not end there. One cloudy morning, Dr. Lewis found a note on her desk. It was written in neat, careful handwriting. She didn't recognize the style. The paper felt old, like parchment. The seal holds, but not forever. When forgotten, it weakens. Memory keeps it strong. Speak of the veil, and let the living remember the cost. No name, no signature. She looked outside her window. The trees stood still. The hills were calm, but she felt it, a hum in the world, like a soft breath just under the surface. She knew then that death was not a monster to fear, but a guide, a path, and life was not a race to escape it, but a journey to walk with it. Later that year, a group of teenagers sneaked into the hills and found the stone. It looked just like any old rock, no glowing, no voices, just a cold, tall stone with cracks and moss. They laughed and joked, took pictures and left. One boy stayed behind for a moment longer, staring at it. He felt something, not fear, but respect. He touched the stone gently and whispered, "Thank you." Then he turned and ran to catch up with his friends. The stone remained silent, watching, waiting. And the question remained, whispered in quiet corners of the world. What if death could end? But now Riverbend knew the answer. If death ended, so would peace, so would love, so would rest. Life would never be the same, trapped in a loop stuck between breaths, never moving forward. And so the people remembered quietly, gratefully. Because the end of death was never a blessing, it was a warning.